I'd pastored over 30 years. I would help the chaplain as a chaplain assistant, and then I would go back to the church that I was pastor of and preach the morning message. And then someone would invite us to lunch after that, and I'd change back into my uniform and then go back to the armory, and sometimes I would have to go in the afternoon with the chaplain. I burned out. If a telephone would ring, I wouldn't want to answer it because I knew somebody wanted help, needed help. I couldn't help them. No one really knows what depression is unless you've been there. You don't want to leave the house. If you could get into a cave and never come out, you would. It is very dark. It's very dark. But it seemed like the Lord impressed upon my heart one of those dark days. It's as if He said, "Denny, I want you to reread my word as if it's for the first time." And I took His challenge. I says, "Well, okay." So I said, "I'm going to start in Genesis. I think that's about the best place to start." I had read the Bible before, but up to then, it had really seriously become a dead book to me. But I began to read and study it, and I found out that every day, a little light began to come back. And then it seemed like the Lord impressed upon me. He says, "Well, you used to keep a journal." It's almost like He says, "Well, go get them and reread them." And I did. And I had a bunch of them. But I reread every one of them because the same God that spoke to me in those journals years ago was still the same God. And a little more light come in. A little bit more light. And then one day after I was experiencing some of that, it seemed like the Lord says, "Denny, it's time you get back in church. It's time you go back to church." And they just welcomed me back. They didn't bring up depression. They didn't bring up how many months, or it might have been years, how long I'd been gone. They just loved me. He says, everything that I'm talking about God delivering me. I'm not talking against medicine. I'm not talking against doctors. I'm not talking against psychiatrists or psychologists. We need all of them. They're all gifts to us, and God uses those people. I'm just saying that God intervened personally in my life. I really have thought that one of the main reasons the Lord permitted it so I could help somebody else that's going through it. I don't care how dark it may be in anybody's life. God can bring you out of it.